Welcome. I'll be reacting to Soylent Green. This was recommended by several people because I think it is set in the year 2022. I know nothing other than what I saw in the poster as I was renting it. Speaking of which, this is not a market substitute. Support the original. That looks like about 1883, 1884-ish. Oh, we've moved forward. This is 1890s. Oh, now we're in the 20s? Or the late teens, maybe. They're going so fast, it's hard to look at the fashion. 60s? It kind of looks like San Francisco. All these people in masks. How appropriate. That is a lot of books. I like this character already.
Is brought to you by Soylent Red and Soylent Yellow, the miracle food of high-energy plankton gathered from the oceans of the world. Because of its enormous popularity,
I would try it.
is in short supply.
I want to close that case and sign it out.
What the hell kind of miracle do you want of me? I'm just an ordinary police book, not the Library of Congress. I don't know why I bother.
Because it's your job. Besides, you love me.
Tasteless, odorless crud. You don't know any better.
So far it is slightly more post-apocalyptic, but not by much.
Something for you.
Our computer games are so much better.
Are you ready, Miss Cheryl? It's getting late.
Go ahead.
According to the inventory, we're low on everything.
Okay, but I'm gonna bring you a surprise.
How often can I offer a customer something really fantastic? Look. Beef, Miss Cheryl. Beef like you've never seen before.
It seems amazing that this many people have survived. I think you're going to need a bigger hammer.
They told me to say that they were sorry, but that you had become unreliable.
Uh-oh.
That's true.
They can't risk catastrophe, they say.
They're right.
They've definitely hooked me in. Like, what is going on and who's really calling the shots right now? The depressing thing is I could see us in this situation in a few years.
Detective Thorne, 14th Precinct. Tad Fielding. I was Mr. Simonson's bodyguard. Furniture?
Yes,
Simonson's? Personal or building?
building.
I'm loving all the books in the background.
Occupation?
Rich?
Rich what?
Lawyer? Politics?
Your boss didn't put up much of a fight.
He wasn't the type.
He's like running water? What? I wonder if he remembers the time before all this happened.
Shut the door.
I'm mildly distracted by her gown because I own one like that.
Come on.
I'd never risk my job. I stay for the next tenant if he wants me.
He's certainly making himself at home. Not the best way to handle a crime scene, but I guess he has his methods.
You can file a claim in 30 days.
I was thinking.
He's going to take the groceries.
Sure
I just,
you will.
yeah,
Hey, Wagner.
He's gonna open it up and have actual beef. He's gonna lose his mind. California would be like, oh, rent to sleep on the stairs. $700 a month.
Paper. New paper.
Have some pencils. Did you ever see a cake of soap that big?
2015 to 2019. 2 volumes.
How much did he take?
How'd you get all these?
Off his shelves?
Oh, my God.
So he's such a sweetheart. He collects books. He loves food.
The damn thing won't run.
Let me see it. Maybe I can fix it
Is
again.
that Cisco's dad,
Okay.
but much younger?
Dad, I don't want to hear about it. You take these 2 vampires and tell them to either sit down and grab a menu or get out of my restaurant.
Jake, get them a menu.
Which means you still haven't got a damn thing.
1, the alarm system was out of order for the first time in 2 years. 2, the bodyguard was conveniently out shopping. 3, the punk didn't take anything. And 4, the punk was no punk. He used a meat hook instead of a gun to make it look like a punk.
Who did the inside work?
For my money, it's the bodyguard.
What about the furniture?
I don't think she's involved. Maybe I'm biased because she's gorgeous, but I really don't think she is. There's a mask. But why all the kerchiefs? Other than that, the clothing is pretty good. They didn't put everyone in spandex or something crazy like that.
All right.
She has a really clean apartment.
Detective Thorne, 14th Precinct. Sorry to make such a racket. I want to see Mr. Fielding.
He isn't home.
I think she was right to hide that jam. Mm-hmm.
Come on in here a minute, will you?
Sorry I had to bust in like this, you know.
He totally has the jam. It's interesting seeing different spaces. The apartment we just saw was small, but it was so well kept and clean, and it made it look fairly luxurious. This one, they clearly haven't made that much of an effort, except in the library area, which I appreciate. But it's made me really think about keeping your space really clean can elevate it so much. And we're really seeing that in this film. Beef stew, interesting choice. I would have sauteed it. Has he ever had proper food before? He might not have. Like, he didn't even know to clean off the apple. This makes me want to get an apple.
I never ate like this. And now you know what you've been missing.
This is going to make me appreciate my dinner way more.
2018. Holcox was acquired by Soylent, and Simonson became a member of the board.
The board of Soylent? Taste that.
Taste what?
Taste it.
Strawberries, hmm? $150 a jar of strawberries.
Okay, the bodyguard might be in on it. How else did he get the strawberry jam? I weigh more than I can ever say.
I wait for her ham and her beef and her lamb and her strawberry jam and her pie. That's right.
That's a bribe sitting on the table there. Are these all the companions for the various apartments? At least all their outfits look really comfortable.
Who is it?
Thorne, Detective Thorne.
And weirdly, I think I used to own one like that as well.
I had a few more questions I wanted to ask you.
He was murdered, you know. Assassinated. Robbery had nothing to do with it.
Sure. I met some of his friends. Well, there was Mr. Lempeter, a man called Tompkins, somebody called Santini.
Ah,
Church.
About a month ago, and then again a few days before he died. And sometimes for no reason at all, he'd start to cry.
hey!
Hold it. They break every regulation in the book.
1 day off a month. This whole system is just so corrupt. Like everyone. I guess it's because it's all about survival.
I'll make you breakfast.
Why should you?
There's plenty of food in the refrigerator.
This is why I didn't object earlier when he asked her for, let's call it a favor, because I was definitely getting the sense that she liked him a lot, and we saw that again here. So it was mutual. It was just the direction choice on how it played out between the two of them was very jarring, and I think that could have been handled better. And I think it's partly because she is such a professional and doesn't show a lot of emotion, but you could see that it was consensual.
You got hot water here.
Very hot.
I haven't had a...
He's been wanting to take a shower here since he first walked in. I just know it. If I hadn't had a shower in years, I'd be pretty excited too. Or in his case, probably never. Good for the church, though, for stepping in.
A rich man. Yes, I remember. We don't see rich people here anymore. There isn't even enough room for the poor.
Father, did you hear his confession?
There
He
should
can't
be a
tell
requiem
you.
mass, but there's no room. Should I make room?
He needs to talk to one of the sisters. The priest is clearly overwhelmed. And if this 2022 is anything like literally any other year, they're the ones actually running things. I think he's wasting his time here.
What did he confess?
Sweet Jesus.
That bad, huh?
Look, you sign this and I'll bury it.
Like hell you will. A member of the board of directors of the Soylent Corporation was torn apart with a meat hook. You can't sweep that carcass under the rug.
Sign it. I'll cover for you.
I won't put my job in the line for you, Hatcher. Well, not my damn job.
Hey, Big Shot. Hatcher says you're on riot control.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It has been 6 months since my last confession.
He does work for them. Yeah, I figured. All for strawberry jam. Can you imagine standing in line all day? This is like a drab version of Hunger Games here. These poor people.
The supply of Soylent Green has been exhausted. You must evacuate the area.
Here we go. Oh. That was meant for him. Ah. Oh. Well, there goes questioning him. So what is it that they're hiding? Are they almost out of Soylent everything? Is there no more supply? Because they claimed that they just didn't get the transport and that's what caused the shortage. What if it's a bigger systemic issue? Like, what if they're actually running out of food and they don't want the public to know that? That's my guess.
Oh! Did Soylent buy your strawberries? Get off my back!
What happened?
Never mind. Doesn't matter.
The evidence is overwhelming. Simonson was a member of the board.
Mm-hmm.
He learned these facts, and they shook his sanity. They feared he might talk.
About what?
And so he was eliminated.
Yes, sir. Won't you come in?
Home. What did he find out?
Light, Glasgow. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Sign here, please, Mr. Roth.
Is that a last request before they're terminated? To try and keep the population control down? If you come here, you tell them what you would like for about half an hour and then...
May I have your name, please?
Because I'm seeing mostly older people here. I mean, you're treated with more dignity here. If I had to choose a way, it would be this one, not that crowd. One thing this film really does is make you appreciate what we have and the importance of protecting it. It is beautiful.
I told you.
How could I ever imagine?
They're still not going to tell us. Integrating his request for music with the score and this whole moment was just so well done. Okay, whatever they're doing has to be connected with the bodies. What if the food is the bodies? I don't know, maybe. Because that tree from earlier was so sickly looking, and if that's the best they can do, and they clearly spent a lot of money setting up these locations for people to come and just end it. The film is named Soylent Green. What if it's not plankton? What if it's them? That's horrifying. Yeah, that looks like a factory. There are no farmlands or plankton ships. I knew it. How's he gonna prove it, though? You're about to become Soylent Green. Well, that was close. Will the truck be fast enough?
The new tenant wanted me.
Good. Stay with him. I want you to stay with him always.
Oh, Thorne, I want to live with you.
Just live.
And this is why they cast Charlton Heston, because he can handle scenes like this. Oh, it's that guy. Oh, that looks bad. Whoa, quite the flip. Uh-oh, that's a knife. Nice.
I've seen it. I've seen it happening. They've got to tell people.
Tell them what?
The ocean's dying. The plankton's dying. It's people. Soylent Green is made out of people.
But if the ocean is dying, like, it's horrible, but what other choice do they have? The worst thing is that they're not being honest about it.
Soylent Green is people! We've got to stop them somehow!
No one is going to believe him. Interesting ending. I enjoyed how gritty this film was. You could feel the heat. Everyone was always just sweating and languid. It was very atmospheric. And no real pops of color unless you were either in a really rich area or during that film as Saul was dying. I started to suspect something when they had that very elaborate setup for people to come and pass away peacefully. And then I also had another clue by accident because I was talking about Space 1999. We talked about a few other things, but then a few minutes later, he's like, oh, have you seen Soylent Green yet? And I'm like, no, I haven't. I was like, that must have been what made his connection between the two, was that Space 1999 episode. However, I don't know how to feel about it because if there is no food and the planet is truly dying, what else do you do? And maybe it's almost better to have people not know. I don't know whose side I'm on. The one thing I know we need to do is to prevent that from happening. And whether you think that the climate change issue is some kind of natural temporary thing, or if you think that it is a serious problem and one that we need to address, either way, helping the planet out is better for all of us. Like, there's no downside. The downside is cleaner water and a more beautiful place to live. So that isn't a downside, really. We don't want it to be reduced to stock footage that you watch as you die. There were a few odd choices by the director about how people interacted. So I think it could have been better, but I think the casting was really well done. Charlton Heston was amazing, as always. And the costuming department, other than the kerchiefs and the strange hats, I don't know what was going on there, did a fantastic job because they didn't try to make it look futuristic. They just said, people are probably still wearing the same thing that we are now, and they just let some of the people be more run down and in rags. And then other people that are kind of middle class are slightly cleaner, their clothes are less tattered, but they're still just normal outfits. And then you have the rich people on the other end with, actually, I think I have access to one of those gowns. I use them as sleepwear, personally. I wouldn't just walk around in it, but they are really comfortable. There's a reason I use it. And it even has the little ties that they had. And it's the same fabric. It's just a different color. It's just so weird seeing those characters wearing things that I wear all the time. But again, it's a testament to the costume designer because clearly it's 2022 and we're wearing them, so good job. Also, based on that ending, nothing's going to happen. I mean, the cops are all bought off and everyone in that church probably just thought, oh, he was shot and hit in the head, he's just raving. And even if a few people believed him, who would believe them? So I think it's a really courageous move to end this entire movie with literally nothing getting done. The only thing that happened was we as an audience got to experience that journey. But within their world, nothing changed. The protagonist failed. And I think that's part of the message. Even if you have someone who's willing to step up and try and do something, it won't work. It's too late. And the ending of this movie is basically looking at the audience and going, well, are you going to do something to stop this from happening? And him calling out, are you going to tell someone? Are you going to tell someone? He was talking to us as an audience, in my opinion. And it was a call for us to step up and say, we have to make sure that the Earth's waters stay safe to drink and to use for agriculture. And we have a responsibility for that. So while this is a movie I probably will not be going back to rewatch, I think it was a powerful film, and I'm glad that I watched it. I do know that it's based on a novel, so if anyone has read the book, let me know what the deviations were, because I'm always curious about adaptations, what they changed. And thank you for the recommendation.